Good evening. You are watching Semuliki Live Media. I am Mande Wilson, your host. Tonight we are discussing the sentencing of Agnes Nanduto to 4 years in prison over the Karamoja Iron Sheets scandal, a case that has raised serious questions about corruption, accountability, and leaderships in Uganda. Is this real justice or just the beginning? To discuss this with my panel is Chris Chebendoka, a journalist and political analyst. Chris, you are most welcome on the program.
Well phone.
Yeah, okay. Chris, do you see the sentencing of Agnes Nanduto as real justice or just a symbolic move?
Well, thank you, my host, Mr. Mande Wilson. Thank you, our viewers outside there. It is justice that the former Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Honorable Agnes Nanduto, was first of all arrested and now she has been convicted. It is justice because the people of Karamoja, the people of Uganda are at least being helped in to a smaller extent. They have been helped now that the person who engaged herself in the scandal has been in the courts of law, and she has now been convicted. She has been sentenced and she's now behind bars. But to a very larger extent, there is no justice. Why do I say there is no that much justice? This scandal involved various public figures in the country. I will say the biggest figures in the biggest offices of this state. For example, the scandal involved the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Honorable Jessica Alupo, and then the Prime Minister of the country. And it is a sad story that these iron sheets were kept in the stores at the office of the Prime Minister of the country. So it would be much better if everyone in this scandal was aligned before the courts of law.
Okay, why is it a few are just facing the consequences?
I may say the few are facing the consequences. Maybe I may say it is because of some political, I will say differences, political grievances, maybe political differences between these figures. One, we remember this Agnes Nanduto is a journalist by profession.
Yes, he's a journalist by profession.
And you very well remember she's this journalist who would take point blank. You remember that?
Yes, point blank on NTV.
Yeah.
Weekend edition.
So that being a serious journalist by then, she would expose the corrupt officials of government. So me, in my own understanding, I see.
So you mean it was intention? Was it was revenge. To be exposed? Do you see it like that?
I regard it as revenge. It could have been revenge because this woman could expose them the time she was in the media. So they kept her. Sorry. Now this is the time they revenged. So why among the list is of 20 people, about 20 people, and 20 top leaders in this country, ministers, vice president, the Speaker of Parliament herself. You remember the Speaker of Parliament saying she had a phone call from her district, Bukedia. They told her there are iron sheets here, 500 iron sheets in Bukedia at the district. So what should we do about the iron sheets? The right honorable Speaker of Parliament told them, take those iron sheets to government-aided primary schools in my district, disperse them to those government schools. So what does it mean? why didn't she ask where the iron sheets came from as the Speaker of Parliament?
Now this is where it raises a question from, is Uganda applying the law equally, or it's just a selective accountability depending on who you are?
Exactly. It depends on who you are. It depends on who you are. Remember, in this scandal, there is the cabinet minister for Karamoja affairs. This was the Honorable Katutu. Being the cabinet minister, now Agnes Nandutu being the state minister. That means the highest office, which is the cabinet minister, was not considered in this scandal, but they considered the junior minister, who was the state minister by then. And remember, Agnes Nandutu also says, claimed these iron sheets. She would pay for these iron sheets. She would like compensate by paying money
to get the iron sheets,
to make sure those iron sheets are gotten back and supplied to the people of Karamoja. Just the same way other people did, like our honorable, the Speaker of Parliament said, when she got to learn about the iron sheets being made for a different region, she resorted to compensating by paying the money that is equivalent to these iron sheets. So you can count 500 iron sheets plus maybe times the money each iron sheet, a piece of iron sheet costs. So that's how she compensated. As I told you, out of the 20 public figures, only 3 were arrested. That was Honorable Katutu, Honorable Amosi Rugorobi, and then this Agnes Nandutu. But surprisingly, the 3 who were arrested, only 1 person was retained and detained. The 2 were set free. What does that mean to the country? That means if these public figures can play around and cook that case the way they did to that national issue, that means there is a lot of injustices going in around our courts of laws here in Uganda, in different regions of Uganda.
Chris, what does this case tell us about the integrity of our leaders?
This case tells us, and it is a very good and clear picture to the public, that in Uganda there is no longer integrity. How can a full
you mean there is
minister,
we don't have integrity?
Like seriously, a full minister of finance, Honorable Matia Kasaija, saying the iron sheets
he was implicated in the matter
themselves. Yeah, he was also he's also a victim, but he's surprisingly and playfully he said the iron sheets found themselves in his compound. Can you imagine? So what does that mean? There is no longer integrity. Everything in this country is taken as comedy. There is comedy in every sector of this country. So I think there is no integrity, and this like shows us what happens behind curtains, where the cameras do not reach, where the investigators do not have access. That means there is much if this exposed case can be played about like this.
Does this expose the big failure within the government system?
Definitely, yes, it does. Because how can we have grown up like having trust in the judicial system. Me, there are two systems I have been trusting since my childhood. That is the judiciary and the legislature. Those two systems I have grown up trusting them.
So you don't trust them now?
I trust them less.
You trust them, like to what extent exactly?
That is maybe to 0.9%.
0.9%.
Yeah, because surely iron sheets meant for the vulnerable communities in Karamoja, like for the disarmed youths of Karamoja. The government took the initiative of disarming these youths and bringing them on board, solve their grievances. And one of the grievances were they need good shelter.
Chris, do you think this 4-year sentence is strong enough to scare other public officials from engaging in corruption?
4 years might be enough, but has the problem ended? Was the problem intended to be solved indeed, or it is just 4 years, then the problem still remains the same? 4 years to a public figure can be enough, because one, she will learn a lesson. After learning a lesson, the rest will also learn from her. But now, learning from her, the circumstances that surround this case, how it was being turned this way and this way, leaving others aside, what will those jokes that were put in the case scare off the others? Definitely it does not.
Okay, then lastly, with a 10-year ban from the public office, is this the end of Nanduto's political career?
10 years in a political office or a big office, 10 years is enough.
Is enough.
Yeah, and it will bring a setback to her, because those 10 years, my dear, you cannot contest as a member of parliament, because this is a high office. You cannot contest. So that means if she had invested enough, she will concentrate. Like we hear the iron sheets were taken on her farm. That was an investment already. So she will have time maybe at home, and she can do better, by the way. She can do better without a political office. She can do better for as long as she had invested very well in her farm. So I think the 10-year ban makes the end of her political career, but it cannot limit her entrepreneurial or business strength. That's what I can say about it.
Okay, Chris, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
thank
yes,
you.
Our dear viewers, thank you so much for watching Semlik Live Media. And of course, this has been the end of our discussion here. It has been the end of our discussion here, of course, about the Karamoja Iron Sheets scandal, justice served or selective accountability. Bye-bye.